Chapter 4. Traveling. My flight was uneventful. The 22 hours flew by in no time. I slept well, enjoyed a few drinks, and caught up on my reading. I never really understood people's problems with flying. Perhaps it was because commercially I always flew ABL Air, an obscure airline known for its passenger restrictions preventing the obese, infants, Muslims, and women from booking flights. The in-flight entertainment was strippers and prostitutes, but I put on my Sony noise-canceling headphones and took a nap. I had the feeling I'd get my fill with France soon enough. Thoughts of past love sprung forth as I drifted in and out of sleep. I had loved 3 women in my lifetime. The first was a childhood romance, my next-door neighbor Sally Ripton. We used to pick strawberries in her parents' garden and push each other on the tire swing in the local playground. We'd spend cool summer nights catching fireflies in her front yard. We were 17. She was the first girl to take my virginity. Unfortunately, a few months later, while looking into her bedroom window from mine, I saw her cheating on me with a boy who looked suspiciously like her older brother. The next day, it was a man who looked like our postman. Another day, a guy with the same hairline as our high school principal. After a week of this, I decided to end it. My second love was Dakota Jean, the mother of my 2 children. We had met during the early part of my NBA career. My agent introduced her as a woman who can really flush the stress of this lifestyle right out of you. We hit it off immediately. It was always a roller coaster ride with her, peaks of ecstasy and nadirs of despair. Our kids helped settle things down for a while, but eventually our lifestyles became too incompatible. She seemed upset every moment we spent together, perhaps because, for some reason, she only had time off work when she was menstruating. The third, was Jennifer. Was it over now? Was this flight the final nail in the coffin? Maybe. Maybe things weren't that simple. "Would you care for a beverage?" the flight attendant asked me, then raising her eyebrows. "Or anything else?" I'm not much of a drinker, but I asked for a shot of absinthe, Carter's drink. I needed something to numb me a little. I downed the shot and shut my eyes again. So, you may be asking, what of Fran Beauchamp, the woman I was on my way to see? With Fran, it was pure, unadulterated lust. There were no romantic candlelit dinners, though we did discover a few other uses for candles during our time together, if you catch my drift. I, for example, learned that if your aglet, the plastic tip of a shoelace, falls off, you can replace it by dipping the end of the lace in hot candle wax. Fran was too much of an enigma to fall for. She built up this hard, steely exterior, which probably explains why she was such a successful TV chef. When we met, her career was just taking off at the Food Network. But she mysteriously quit 6 years ago and has been something of a recluse ever since. Now she was back. The plane landed, gingerly navigating the heavy fog covering the runway. The exhilaration of entering a foreign land began to set in. I snatched my carry-on and rushed to beat the crowd. The flight attendants made their way through the rows, wiping down all the seats and windows. I got in line and waited to pass immigration inspection. I have to admit the whole process had always confused me. Words like naturalization and visa and queue never made any sense. And isn't foreign-born an oxymoron? I looked at the nearest visa agent and tried to put on the charm, smiling and doing my best to remember the little Chinese I'd learned. 图书馆在哪里? 再胡说了傻逼一个. The woman spit on the floor and wiped it with her feet. I was afraid I'd offended her. But before I had time to reply, another man walked up to me, official-looking but not uniformed like the rest of the immigration staff. "Please come with me," the man said in excellent English. I followed him into a small, windowless room. The room was host to 2 junior visa officers and a small inspection table. It seemed completely normal, aside from the chair I was asked to sit in that had the seat bottom cut out of it. The men asked me to open my carry-on. They rummaged through the contents: my clothes, a laptop, where to ASAT 3, Carter's gift, the bird feathers I'd bought for Fran, the dozens of packets of fruit and vegetable seeds. They also made me empty my pockets. "Close your eyes, please," the head officer said. "Why?" "It would be best for everyone if you just follow along. Close your eyes, and no peeking." I thought the whole thing was silly, but was in no mood to start trouble. I closed my eyes. Then I heard a sharp metallic clicking. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Can I go? A few more questions, if you please. Okay. What brings you to Wuhan, Mr. Anderkin? What brings anyone? Yes, the residents of Fucktown take pride in their reputation. Where do you plan on staying? I showed him the address of the hotel Fran had given me. He glanced over it quickly, not seeming to pay it much mind. Are you staying alone? I explained about my situation with Fran. The two junior officers paged through an unfinished manuscript of a novel I had written. They raised their eyebrows and looked at me. What, athletes can't be literary? I said. It always annoyed me when people looked at my 6'10" frame and sculpted thighs and assumed intellectual endeavors were beyond my grasp. I was a communications major from Ohio State, damn it. You're that Cable Anderkin? The head officer said. And your name? I asked. You can call me Michael Schofield. The officers all shared a laugh. They looked at me expectantly. I don't... Is that something I should know? Prison Break. The main character? The most famous and best American television show ever made? Never heard of it. Well, in any case, everything seems to be in order. We wish you a pleasant stay. Michael said something to the junior officers in Chinese and walked out. Can we see your passport, Mr. Anderkin? One of the officers said. I handed it over. I fidgeted in my bottomless chair, ready to leave. It would have been worse had I not been used to sitting in a similar one at Carter's penthouse. Where's your visa? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I came here in a hurry. I didn't have time to get a visa. I'll just do one here. You can't just do that. China doesn't have on-arrival visa processing. Fine then. I'll just pay the fine or whatever. How much is it? The two visa agents looked at each other. 10,000 US dollars? Yeah, sure. I grabbed the 20 grand I always keep in my backpack and handed each of them 10, and I was on my way.